Gemini, if things have felt a bit arduous or you've just struggled to make some progress, then I have some good news for you. It feels like something is about to change, your hard work and your healing is about to pay off. I do have some animal cards here that we will get into right before we dive into the tarot cards, but I want to thank all of you who support this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It's with all of your support that I'm able to continue putting out these messages, and if you haven't done so already and you've been following around for some time, now is a great time to hit that subscribe and bell notification. I'm very likely to rebrand very shortly, so if you want to be sure that you're always up to date with what's in the cards for you, now is a better time than any to follow along. I do also have links in the description of this video for personal readings and energy healing sessions, which you can book on my website, and I'm also running a sale, so you can get 15% off all of my services using the code Jupiter at checkout. So, Gemini. I pulled a few animal cards here for you, and the first one that I got was the spider. This is really interesting because it does feel like you've kind of been weaving for a while. Maybe you've been working on something or just kind of focused in your own energy. I'm almost getting the image of like a spider hanging in a corner. And I feel like whatever it is that you've been working on, maybe you've been kind of doing this in an isolated way, or there might not have even been people noticing the work that you've been doing. Maybe you've been keeping it secret for some reason. Maybe you're working on some sort of project or something like that, but it feels like you kind of have something under wraps, which is kind of fun and interesting. So if that's true, definitely comment down below what it is that you sort of been working on behind the scenes here. I do also have the bear card. And sometimes this is a card of hibernation, otherwise it is a card of resourcefulness. I do think of the bear as kind of waking from the hibernation. There is some sort of spiritual awakening or life change that you are on the brink of, and it feels like it's still kind of in the early stages. So sometimes when I see the bear card, it tells me that you are beginning a new chapter, and things might feel a little bit groggy. It might feel a little bit heavy at first. And so consistency is key here. If you have been struggling, it's not necessarily a sign that you're not meant to do something. It's just that you are adjusting to something. You're adjusting to a new way of being right now. And that could also be applying to different areas of life. I do get kind of like a work sort of energy here because there is a lot of earth energy with the animals I pulled. But it could also be potentially about relationships. Maybe you're healing something right now or healing something with your family. So however this is applying, it feels like it's kind of been slow progress, or maybe just feeling groggy. Maybe things aren't happening as fast as you want them to. But the last card I pulled for you was the horse. And this is really beautiful because it does feel like something is taking off. And again, it is kind of this recurring message of being consistent and steady in your efforts. And all of these cards, again, are earth animals. We have the alchemical symbol for earth at the top of the card. So it really does feel like there is some sort of new beginning that you are working on or creating for yourself. And this does feel like it could be about a new job or a project or some sort of course of study. There's something that you are building right now that feels like it's going to give you a lot of long-term success and stability and fulfillment. But it's just a matter right now of having the discipline, and it does even feel like perseverance a little bit. It might feel a little bit hard. And with the spider, it is kind of like, what's beautiful about this card actually is that it often represents getting into that flow state where you are so immersed in whatever it is that you are making or doing that you kind of lose track of the world around you. So maybe you're able to do that when you are uninterrupted. And again, I feel like some of you are working alone, maybe even working on something at night when people are asleep. That feels kind of interesting. So maybe you're researching something or creating something in that time. But I really do feel like consistency is key. And maybe it kind of oscillates. Maybe it feels like there is a flow sometimes. Maybe it feels like it's groggy sometimes. And while you don't necessarily need to push through all the time, I do think there is a value maybe in showing up and at least trying something every day, or at least putting a little bit of energy into something each day for you. I really do get the sense that a lot of you are becoming more stable. There's more abundance coming in. And also it's important to kind of meditate and exercise as well, particularly with the bear and the horse card, because you are running a marathon, not a race, or not a sprint. It is a race. But I do think it's about you doing this in the most sustainable way possible. So really kind of sit with yourself and figure out how you can best serve your goals. I am very curious to see what we have in the tarot cards for you, Gemini. And as I am shuffling here, I'm just going to give you my friendly reminder that these are general readings, meaning not all the messages that come forward are going to be meant for all of you specifically. It's up to your own intuition and discernment to figure out what applies to your own life and what should be left behind for somebody else. It might even be a good idea to pause this video, really take a moment to check in with your energy so you can really better discern what is meant for you at this time and feel that with your whole being. Again, all of my links are in the description of this video for my services. I do tarot, astrology, and energy healing sessions. And again, I'm doing that sale. You can get 15% off using the code Jupiter. So what are the messages that we have for Gemini? It's interesting. Sometimes the cards just kind of jump out, but I do feel like I'm shuffling and I'm waiting for something to happen. So maybe that's sort of what you have been in Gemini. What are the messages for Gemini at this time? And these are timeless readings as well, too. So you're welcome to watch this whenever it finds and resonates with you. Interesting. Ooh, I'm loving these cards for you. What else do we have for Gemini? Show us clearly, please. Wow. Yeah, there is a big shift ahead, but let's kind of break this down. So the card for the past, interestingly, is the Nine of Pentacles. And I could see this quite literally as you just creating stability for yourself. Maybe that's something that you have been focused on or working towards in the past. Sometimes the Nine of Pentacles also represents comfortability. This could be about your comfort zone. This could be about a place that you have been cultivating for yourself, a little cozy nest here. Sometimes the thing with the Nine of Pentacles, even though it's abundant and beautiful, it's almost like you can get a little complacent. And so I wonder if maybe in the past, you made stability more important than anything else. But now there might be a shift of, okay, well, if I am stable, what does this bring me? What does this give me? And that's the message for some of you. For others of you, this has just been about getting stable, building your abundance. And that could really look any number of forms. I almost feel like, Gemini, you're working on something that is going to grow to a next level, another phase. And that might require you changing things up quite a bit. Because it feels like there's growth. And with growth, there is a change that is taking place. So comment down below if that's resonating or how this is making sense to you. I do also the Queen or Mother of Wands here. And that's kind of why it feels like you've been clutching something very close to you. You know, you've been working very hard towards something or healing or just putting a lot of effort and energy into something. And it's almost like you are protective of the progress you have made. You don't want to just share this with anybody. And I do really get this sense, Gemini, like you've been keeping something secret. Or if it's not a secret, it's like you've been kind of protective of it. And I feel like there's a lot of achievement that you have recently come into or that you are about to be recognized for. And I do feel like that is giving you more stability, more abundance. And it's not just growth that is going to help sustain you now, it is growth that is going to bring you into the next chapter. And I do have the Knight of Swords or Son of Swords in the present of this reading. This is actually very much your energy. So it feels like you are very much embodied in your sense of purpose. Maybe you're very active, or this is an invitation to kind of just do things. Even if it feels a little bit haphazard. It's okay to learn as you go. It feels like you're kind of like grinding right now, Gemini. Or that is something that is going to be very fruitful for you. And I do wonder if there is some kind of communication, if there's maybe a back and forth here with this Knight of Swords. I do actually have the Two of Cups coming in as a catalyst right now. So maybe there is someone coming in as a romantic interest or kind of a intimate relationship, and that is something that is very much kind of central, or someone who's supporting you. But this could also represent like a business partnership or some kind of companion who is supporting you in other ways. It doesn't have to be romantic. This can actually be any kind of one-on-one relationship. But I do feel like there might be a commitment. There might be something here where someone is making an offer to you, or you're working together with somebody, or at least brainstorming with someone. Because I feel like there is a person in your life who is offering you a huge, big opportunity with Judgment. Judgment feels like a big decision. It is kind of a life-defining moment. And it's almost like all of the work that you have put in the past is now being recognized. There's now a boon. I do want to clarify these cards a little bit more. I'm curious, why is the Two of Cups here? I'll kind of clarify Judgment in just a moment. But let's dig into this Two of Cups more. Who is this person? What is this Two of Cups about? Wow. We have the Tower. This might be something that is a bit challenging right now, actually. Tell me more about this Tower and this Two of Cups. Interesting. I have the Tower with the Hanged Man. I'm wondering, Gemini, if there was someone in your past or someone still in your life who was supposed to be working with you, and I'm almost getting the sense this person just ghosted you or hasn't been communicating with you, kind of stonewalling you, barely saying anything, and it feels like they are not showing up in some way when you really need them to with the Tower. There might even be a relationship that has had to end, maybe involving a Pisces, could also be Aries or Scorpio. But I do feel like there is something about collaboration. Interesting that there was a ding right at that time. I do feel like there is a collaboration for you. Tell me more. We do have the Queen of Pentacles. So whatever's going on in your personal life right now, Gemini, I feel like you are going to remain or even become stable. I almost get the sense that there is, for some of you, a relationship where you thought you were on the same page, you were working towards something, you were working towards a similar goal or lifestyle, and it almost feels like it's become evident that that person does not have the same interests as you and has maybe even taken advantage of you in some way. And that could be kind of a judgment call that you are making. But I do feel like there is something very joyous here. There is a breakout moment for you. And I do have the High Priestess. You know what is coming for you. And if you're kind of just feeling like there's a weird energy between you and somebody else, pay attention to that. But also pay attention to what your intuition is telling you to act on and to move towards. What is the blessing here? What is the blessing here? Because I do feel like there is one. We do have the Six of Pentacles. That's the thing. I feel like there is someone... There's like multiple relationships that are kind of showing up on the table here right now. I do feel like there is either an existing or pre-existing relationship that might be ending, or there might have been a sense of betrayal, and you're kind of putting this person in a different place in your life right now. You're sort of reprioritizing that relationship, or at least that's the advice. It does feel like there is a new connection or new person or new opportunity that is coming in to support you. And sometimes when I see the Six of Pentacles, it's quite literally receiving the generosity of someone. I do also potentially just see this as bearing the fruits of your labor. There's sort of an exchange that goes on with the Six of Pentacles, whether that's between you and another person, or maybe just the energy that you have put towards something is now growing or giving back to you. And I just want to tell you to be careful, be discerning with who you give what to, whether that is physical, financial resources, or your emotional resources. Make sure there is a good give and take. We do have the Lovers. I really do feel like for some of you, there is a supportive person. It kind of does feel like there is something personal there. This doesn't just feel like business for a lot of you. The Lovers is one of your indicator cards though too, so maybe this is just a very important commitment. Maybe it is a commitment to yourself. But even in that case, I can't help but wonder if there is a new offer coming in. Someone who is supporting you. Or even a group of people supporting you. Because I really get this story, like someone has been looking at you, they've heard about the work you've been doing, they recognize all the energy and time you've put into something, and they really want to support you. And I kind of do feel like there is a bit of affection in this as well. Maybe this is even, I don't know, it's not giving like sugar daddy or something like that. Sugar parent. But it's not just because someone is placating you either. So I don't want you to get hung up on that. And I'm also getting from kind of the past energy in relationships, you might have a hard time receiving gifts or just receiving in general, because in the past it had something to do with control or manipulation. Someone was trying to get something back from you. Someone was trying to get something out of you or control you. It feels like whoever is supporting you genuinely sees your potential and they want you to grow. And they might even be offering you something that helps you grow on a scale you weren't expecting. And, you know, I think, especially if you are working on something, maybe as an entrepreneur, just trying to do something all by yourself, Gemini, I think there's often the myth of the self-made person. Like this person started from nothing and they built an entire business for themselves or an entire legacy. But even if that's true, okay, like even if someone is able to do that, and there's a lot of privilege behind that, but even if someone truly starts with nothing, there is a point where it just becomes too much for one person to manage. And so Gemini, right now, I think it's important that you open yourself up to, if I want to grow, or if I continue to grow, which feels very likely, there is going to need to be other people, a partner, or even a team that is helping you do what you are working on. And so, yes, keep up the work, but also do it in a way that is sustainable to you. And maybe this is also using tools or technology. It's just like, there is something here that you are growing to the next level. Maybe some of you are even talking to like a coach or a mentor or just learning from somebody online, and they're kind of helping you sort of redistribute your workload or your bandwidth. Kind of streamlining your process, if you will. That could be how that manifests for some of you. But overall, there is abundance. I really feel like it is coming in. And like, it's funny because I feel like this almost happens to you, Gemini, without you necessarily even seeking it out. You've just been working on something, weaving this web, and now something is coming to you. And it might feel like it's a little bit out of your comfort zone. You might not have been expecting or planning on what the next stages of this will be. But I feel like there is support coming in. And I do want to say there is a relationship coming in as well. I will also just note at the time of this recording, so may or may not be true based on when you're watching this, but we do have a full moon in Sagittarius on June 11th. This is in your opposite sign, so there could very well be a change or some sort of peak happening between you and another person. Usually this is a one-on-one kind of relationship, whether that's a romantic partnership or a business partnership, or even just a really close friend. There might be some releasing, there might be some letting go. It could also just represent letting go of an old pattern, or even kind of a person who you've had a hard time letting go of. I feel like full moon in Gemini, or I'm sorry, full moon in Sagittarius is actually just a good time to sort of detach from things, because Sagittarius can kind of do that. They can just kind of go somewhere else. You know, they can be very passionate, they care, but once that fire is gone, it's gone. So maybe there is a little bit of detachment that's going on, but it's from things that aren't serving you. And I feel like at the same time, there's something here where I feel like there is a genuine connection coming in, or a very beneficial connection coming in. Anything else for Gemini at this time? We have several cards, but one that did come up is the Six of Cups. So some of you might be getting closure with an ex. Maybe that's part of what's going on, or just a person who wronged you. It feels like there could be some healing going on, whether this is a person who is reaching out to you or you're just healing something internally. Really use your own discernment there, because the truth is sometimes if you are waiting to get closure from another person, you're just never going to get it. You have to do what you can for yourself. People have free will. You can't control the actions of other people, but I do feel like there is something very healing going on. And I think part of this healing for you, Gemini, is being willing to accept support without making it mean that someone is trying to control you, or it is a loss of your agency or autonomy in some way. So some big energy here. Yeah, and I do feel like there's an ending. There's wrapping up an old cycle with the Ten of Swords, cutting out what doesn't serve you. I am getting closure, though. It's interesting. You really could be getting closure, whether this is from a person from your past, a person from your childhood, or something about your childhood. Sometimes the Ten of Swords can feel very heavy. It can feel like a betrayal. And I do get the sense that for some of you, there was some betrayal at some point that came up in this reading with the Tower. But I don't see this Ten of Swords as that kind of painful ending. It feels like more you have put something to rest. You have ended something. You have cut ties with something. And that is bringing you healing. So some interesting messages here, kind of a mixed bag. I love ultimately where this is going for you, Gemini, because it feels like you are growing beyond your wildest dreams. And, you know, maybe you had hoped there would be different people in your life than there ended up being, but ultimately the relationships that are coming in, or that are really supporting you right now, are even better than what you had hoped for. So even in that arena, you are getting more than you had hoped for, which is a great message. Those are all the messages I have for you at this time. Definitely be sure to hit like and subscribe if you've made it this far. Really claim this energy. Give us this little spider emoji. What are you working on? What are you weaving? Let us know that you made it all the way to the end here. Again, I am running a sale on my website. You can get 15% off any of my services using the code Jupiter at checkout, and you're more than welcome to check out the other videos on my channel. You can check for your moon, sun, or rising sign. Just really trust your intuition to draw you to the reading that is meant for you at this time. And I will see you next time, Gemini, sending lots of love and blessings your way. Take care.